Hey, welcome back to another episode from Life for Living Well. I hope you're well. Before I dive into the topic that I have this week, I'd like to quickly say if you'd like to know one or two things about Life for Living Well community, you can find it out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. If you also would like to ask questions or contribute to the platform or the way the message come across or your view on it, you can join the others by making your comment known or your opinion known or view known through the website. So the website again address is www.lifeforlivingwell.com. So without taking much of your time, let's dive into it. So this week, another unique topic that I'm presenting is what I call, so looking at the benefit of intrinsic interpersonal relationship. So what I mean by intrinsic here is the values that is not really obvious to people, but the actions, the fruit, the display of those virtues is what people see. It could be loving, it could be kindness, it could be confidence, it could be courage, it could be setting the healthy boundaries for yourself and others. So all those things is to look into when we prioritize to build a relationship with ourselves first before we engage with the relationship with others. But the way many of us are raised up is to focus a lot on relationship we build with others. Sometimes when we find ourselves in this kind of connections, it could be through the work, it could be through the school, it could be through the friendship, it could be through the romantic relationship. It could be all kind of things that make you connect to other people. But when we have not developed our own personal relationship, we tend to create a lot of toxic or allow a lot of toxic behavior of others to envelop us and also affect us directly. So, like we normally do with this kind of topic, is to find one individual that the quotations or the word that they use that have much more inspirational or powerful to complement the message itself. So today I will be using the word of Sukant Ratnakar. So he put this word. The word is put this way: if you are upset by someone's behavior, this only means that you have to work on yourself before you try to correct the other person. You'll be surprised that how many people get so wind up because of the word somebody use or how they use it, or even the way somebody think or somebody speak, or the kind of clothes that they put on, or even the actions of the other person. It so affect their state of mind that they barely able to function for that week. So you wonder, why do we give power to what other people do? It can only happen when we attach to particular outcome how we also expected how the person should or could behave. So in today's world, many people are clamoring for connections of any sort. So, and we all know that the connection is an integral part of what makes us a human beings. Because if we don't cherish connection so much, the ancient human being will not form a little group called village, and they expand it, become town, become city, and become countries that we have today. And then become world, where the other countries in the world relating with each other. So trading is one of those things that connect, but there's also more deeper connections of another person. So the need is often very challenging to ignore. And it is when you have the absence of this connection, it also very devastating. It creates devastating effect on that person's life. That's why many people can be in the midst of crowd and they still feel lonely, because the emptiness is trying to fill is within them, not the outside. And even when they are outside, they couldn't connect to other people. So they feel really isolated. So on the other hand, our connection to others is also linked to many pains. So the most common thing is when people come to your life and you already invest some time, emotion into your connection with them, they also have sort of way to create a pain for you, because they might not meet your expectation or you might not meet their expectation. So that breeds resentment or frustration or disappointment, and the way they project this also have load of impact on you, and the way you react to them also have direct or indirect impact on them. So you wonder why we always have a clash in our connections. And for a lot of people to really fit into the kind of society that they created for themselves, they already have multiple masks. At home, they wear one mask. At work, they wear another mask. In their social group, they wear another mask. And sometimes they get confused, not know which mask to actually use. So that's why sometimes some people, they get so much invest into their social status, into their position in society, that sometimes they forgot that they have another mask. And that mask, they don't really play it fully because they misplace what is the most important thing. So when someone is able to hold back and making a judgment, it's so difficult to keep a multiple mask going, because again, it's because we not work or creating intrinsic interpersonal relationship with ourselves first. And you can say this dynamic internal conflict contradicting the outward persona that individual is carrying with them. And this happens often when it's poorly managed, and it will be poorly managed if you kind of think about it. If you are juggling multiple things, and at one point you will slide. So it is crucial to recognize that our first relationship is the one we have with ourselves. How do we know that? It's how you treat and perceive yourself will influence the people that you bring to your life. Someone once said to me that you teach people how to treat you. I really agree. Because when you create the time to know yourself well, it becomes more easier to know other people. But many people want the other person to change, not realize how much change it is for them as well. Like the quotation that I put forward when I started this podcast, that anytime you feel enraged by words, by actions of others, that is the moment that you take a deep breath to looking or ask questions, how this thing affects you so much like this. So we often believe that external factors control us, leading us to construct walls to protect ourselves. But in reality, weakness and a lack of inward depth often lead us to lose control of our true selves. And it's really painful when someone feels insufficient, that they are not enough, that they are not worthy. It's really, really painful that they can only become worthy or complete when another person complete them. The same thing happens when people change a career, thinking like only when they achieved or have this amount of money, then they will be happy. But with the experience, with what we have seen, even when they finally achieve all those things that they think will make them happy, they're still unhappy. They're still unhappy because it's something that coming even within them, not the outside. So, just imagine, despite the plethora of options available today, we are often consumed by old wounds. You will be so surprised how many people still carry wounds, even words that really hurt them, damage them to the extent that it built a lot of resentment for many, many years. Even trust break down, that they become untrustworthy of any other person, rather than use their experience at the time to look into other area that they didn't pay attention to, the character of the person they're dealing with, what they should be mindful of when they're dealing with people, or when they're having a connection. What is it that is important to them? Are they being truthful to themselves? Sometimes some people want relationship, especially romantic relationship, and deep down they know that they don't have anything in common with that person, but they thought that they will change. They thought that the love conquer all, but deep down. So someone that doesn't like is someone that smoke, but the only person that offer a relationship to them is a smoker. Or they think, I will change him. Someone that have alcohol issues and they don't drink, and they don't really like someone drink, but because they are so desperate to the outcome, not the process, they are willing to sacrifice their own truth because inability to remain still, to remain single and create time for themselves. The pain and the shame and the desperation was too much for them. So they just said, I start with what is in front of me now. It is really difficult when you're hungry for food to tell someone that's hungry for food to wait until the food finish while they can start eating some snacks right now. And you tell them, please don't eat the snacks now. The food will be ready in a few minutes. It requires kind of self-discipline, intentional, and focus. So there's no doubt that once you have developed a strong intrinsic interpersonal relationship, you are better equipped to connect with others without placing excessive emphasis on changing them. What a lot of people do is to go into a relationship thinking like they will be able to change the person. Another group of people go into a relationship thinking that this person I be with will never change. Both two concepts are all wrong. People change when they feel they need to change based on where they are in their life. People don't change because they are afraid of losing what they already have or who they already be. Or they don't know. So when you now go into a relationship with a person that never believed that they can change, and you come into a relationship believe that you can change them, you already have your work cut out. So with all the relationship that we're going to involve with, it's not only limited to romantic relationship. So we have relationship with our siblings, we have relationship with our neighbors, we have relationship with our businesses, we have relationship with our employers, we have relationship with our colleagues, we have all kinds of relationships. But the actual sense is that when you are building connections, thing that is more important than transcending to other connections that we build is what I call intrinsic interpersonal relationships. So let's look at a few benefits that are associated with intrinsic interpersonal relationship when we build it. So few things will begin to happen in our life, and it will be so obvious that anyone that comes into our life, we will represent that. We will not know. It will just become natural way, a state of mind for us. Number one, loving and kindness. You no longer depend solely on love from others, but have the ability to give and accept love. A lot of people can only looking for somebody to offer them love. They don't know how to give it because you can't give what you don't have. Before you can give love to somebody else, you have to know how you give it to yourself. What does it look like? So, why many people claim to have found love in relationships? True love extends beyond fleeting feelings. So what happens when you no longer feel extraordinary feelings for that person anymore? Does that mean that they are not lovable anymore or they are not loving anymore? They're still lovable. They're still loving. To you, that feeling is not there for them anymore. So are we saying if another person now find the same person that you don't have the feelings for, are we saying that their love is absent in their life? That's not true. So love is go beyond feelings. It's an act. It's an action. It's a way of being. So it is a state of being. Being in love with yourself first results in kindness, which often expressed through passion. So when you see someone that have developed love in themselves, mostly it shows through passion. Whether they watering their garden or look after their flower, tremendous time without worry about how much time they spend on it. Whether someone that take activities in dancing, walking, or cooking, or even volunteering their time for the charity to help out with little time they have. So these kind of things show itself that way. So because when you do all those things, you are actually giving. You are not taking, you are giving. But when you are waiting for someone to just giving you something because you feel like only when they give you that, then your life have a meaning. But when you build intrinsic interpersonal relationship, one of the quality that or virtue that we display through your actions and behavior is loving kindness, and mostly it will show itself through your passion. Number 2, integrity. Individuals with well-established intrinsic interpersonal relationships have a strong inner value systems. It enables them to be truthful and genuine. Such people may be misunderstood by others, lacking these virtues. So what I mean exactly is, in today's, you have some people that they will say what you want to hear. Not because they deliberately deceive you, not deliberately want to hurt you. Mostly they're coming from the place of fear or people pleasing. So they want you to like them. So they already psych you up thinking, what should I say for this person to like me? And at the end, they're coming from the place that is deficit, not the place of strength. So mostly because they focus on themselves too much that they worry about your response. And for you to grow, you need someone that can also be truthful. If you're really going to have a close, deep connection, you need someone to be also being truthful. So, and these are the things that we got to know when we embracing intrinsic interpersonal relationship. That takes me to number 3, boundaries. So why boundaries? We all know that for you to enter your house or any house, you need a key to the house. And the key for your house, not necessarily that it will open your neighbor's house entrance. So that's the boundary. Because if you don't have that, anything will come there. And many people, a lot of people are actually poor when it comes to boundaries. They don't really know where you stand when you end or where you start. Because of the familiarity, because of the closeness, so sometimes people do things without even thinking how my action, my word affecting this individual. And today that we also have more knowledge about so many challenges that many people don't know about. Think about 200 years ago in the area of mental health issues, personality disorder, and all this kind of psychological ailment that today there's so much written and information about it. So, but in this case, think about boundary this way: is to have clear, defined boundaries. Keeps the individual with questionable motives out of your space. Because someone has defrauded you or someone has take advantage of your kindness, if you don't have the boundary, you shut the door. I say all people, all relationship, all kind of this race of people from these nations are all bad. So you slam everything into the group. So what you've just done, you didn't set the boundary, you create the wall. But that wall is also going to hurt you a lot, because perhaps the people that will also help you a lot are also come from the group that you already put in the basket. Perhaps what will have developed if you already exercising intrinsic interpersonal relationship, what will have developed is understanding human nature, human behaviors. Human behavior is selfish. Human behavior can be entitled. Human behavior can be disrespect. Human behavior can be rude. So you begin to ask, when you meet somebody that they told you how they treat people in their life in the past, they've told you, you went out to the restaurant, you see how they talk to the waitress, but you feel uncomfortable, but you ignore that. So what you will have done when you create the boundary, you don't ignore that. You ask yourself, what kind of person is in front of me? Regardless of the color of their skin, their accent, the country, the location, what sort of person I am dealing with now? Oh, I'm dealing with somebody that is not really matured, and I am matured, and I want to relating to mature person, so I'm going to release this person with compassion and kindness. So that is when you actually develop boundaries. So this is the difference between having a boundaries compared to having a wall, because a lot of people think when they have a wall it means they have the boundary. No, they just slam everything into one, and that are actually not helping them, because we are to meet the same experience that they have. Every time they encounter that experience, it triggers anxiety for them, because they remember. So even when dealing with toxic family members, those with intrinsic relationships are unafraid to say no, expressing their boundaries with compassion. The next on my list is called honesty. So it's similar to integrity, but I quickly put it this way. Learning to be honest with oneself make it easier to be honest with others. There's no way when you are so honest with yourself and the people that in your life or connection you have, that you become dishonest with them. It is impossible for you to flip that script. Even when you try, you will be so unpeaceful with your mind. So truth is universal and extends beyond local confine. So embracing honesty allows true freedom, as it enables a complete experience of life, because you are hold up to your truth. May not bring you a lot of connections, but it will create you freedom and peace of mind. And lastly, on my points, as I'm bringing them to the end, is what I call mental and emotional growth. So, as I said before, when you have developed the intrinsic interpersonal relationship with yourself first, so one of the benefits that you will derive from that is through your passion, experience, and the need for growth. It will create the opportunity to strengthen your mental, your physical, and emotional well-being. So these benefits are just a few among many associated with intrinsic interpersonal relationships. So in today's world, many people promise what they do not have due to lack of these intrinsic relationships. So one must develop these qualities within oneself before genuinely offering them to others. So lastly, it is essential to cultivate habits which encourage and improve intrinsic personal relationships. So as I bring this to the end now, I'm going to say we complete the second part in our next episode of this particular topic, but I will be looking at it in a different way, from a different point of view. It will be explore how to build intrinsic personal relationships. Today is to explore the benefit of having intrinsic interpersonal relationship with ourselves first. But the next one, I want to look into how we can actually build it. So I hope that I will be able to present this next episode or sometime before the end of this year. And thank you for your time. And I'm sorry that this one ran a little bit late than I wanted it to be. But until we meet again next week, please stay safe. And if you would like to write to me or make a question, please visit our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. You can also watch our video blog on YouTube. Just search for lifeforlivingwell.com and you will bring you to our page. And until then, please stay safe and see you soon. Ciao.